All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give Salakia. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Malachakudash. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders up in Great Millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. And peace and salutations to all the Akim pushing this word in truth and in all sincerity. It's your brother Ganon from DC Church coming back at you with a quick video. And Lewis will just be quick. I was watching this Matt and Even show. First time I ever seen something like this. It was on my suggested in YouTube. I'll show you right here. You know, I put things up raw. I don't know if brothers can see it. So yeah, you know, I'm watching this, and as you can see, Captain Cesariak of the ISUPK is on here debating, you know, some rabbis and Sal Valanco. I think I seen him on True TV. We doing these pranks and shit. But you know, again, you know, I was just watching. It's 39 minutes. I only really watched 20 minutes of it from the beginning, and you know, a lot of slander. You know, a lot of laughing and kiki and joking. You know, as you can see, the Captain Tazariak of the ISUPK is extremely comfortable in this setting because this is what he's used to, man. And from what I've watched, you know, and I've gave it a shot. You know, he's trying to defend the doctrine to the best of his ability. But this shit is pointless, and that's what I'm doing a video on. You know, this is completely pointless. And let me just jump into the scriptures. St. John 3:30. It says, "He must increase, but I must decrease." And a lot of this, a lot of the actions that you see from, you know, these other camps is that they want glory of their own. You know, they want to be put on this pedestal. They want their name to ring bells more so than Yahweh Bashem Shai. I haven't heard him say Yahweh Shai name once. You know, I can be wrong, Salak, if he already did. Like I said, I only listened to 20 minutes of it. You know, he said Christ numerous times, which is not the name of the Lord. You know, our Lord, as it says in Hebrews 7:14. Get it real quick. Hebrews 7 verse 14. It says, "For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, which tribe Moses speak nothing concerning priesthood." So our Lord was Hebrew. He was a Hebrew Israelite, and he had a Hebrew Israelite name. His true name is Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. You know, and Hamashiach meaning the anointed. You know, that's all Christ mean. So when they saying Christ, they saying the anointed. Salakia. Yeah. I'll be done in like 10 minutes. Alright. Salakia. But yeah, so our Lord was a Hebrew Israelite, and his name was Yahweh Shah Mashiach. You know, and that's what you want to put on high. If you really want him to increase and for you to decrease, you know, it's a bunch of disrespect. You know, he's being referenced as the black. He was introduced as the black Hebrew Israelite. You know, and he's laughing and he's cool with it. But this is a stigma that they're going to put on all of us. You know, when it's time to attack. And really, you don't even have to deal with these people. We're commanded, as it says in Luke 14:23, to go out to the highways. It says, "And the Lord said unto his servant, Go out to the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled." And in Jeremiah, it talks about us being fishers. You know, so you're filling the house of the Lord with the elect, man. You know, this is a very sacred song that we're singing, and not everybody is going to understand it, especially not these devils that you're debating with, man. You know, these people aren't going to walk away and say, "Yeah, you know what? He made a lot of good points." You know, maybe the so-called blacks, Hebrew, the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true Hebrew Israelites. Nah, they're not going to believe that. You know, so what's the point of this, man? You know, you're telling this young dude, I think he said he's 17, who's moderating this whole thing. He's 17-year-old. You're telling him to get down and kiss your boot. What do that mean, man? You know, what is that? You know, that's not representing Yahweh Bashem Shai. It says Romans 12 and 19, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Now he's not acting based off of wrath or vengeance, but this is not the course of action that the Lord said to have. You know, Philippians 2 and 5. It says, let this mind be in you as let me just get it real quick. Philippians 2 and 5. It says, let this mind be in you, which is also in Hamashiach Yahushua. You know, we supposed to move as our Lord moved, man. You know, wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You're supposed to move with discretion. You know, you're supposed to move with wisdom. You know, you think you big and bad. You calling these dudes devils in their face. But this is not the way that the Lord told us to fight. We're supposed to go out to the highways and hedges and preach to our people, and also tell the wicked that their destruction is coming. But you ain't supposed to go on their platforms and debate with them and things like that, because that's only giving glory to yourself, man. You know, but most of the people, most of the Israelites, they're not going to get it. You know, but it got almost a million views. You know, and still, majority of these people don't know the name of the Lord. You know, they don't believe what you're saying. You know, it's all about the glory and the views that's going to turn towards um, Tazariak and Johanna and the ISUPK. And that's what they're looking for, man. You know, they want to be extolled to the clouds. You know, this ain't about Yahweh or Yahweh Shah, man. This is about them. You know, and that's why over here at Great Millstone we keep the main thing, and the main thing is Yahweh Bashem Shai and His glory, and their glory, and when that glory come, that's when we'll receive ours. But right now, we don't give a damn about what the world think. We don't give a damn about how the world perceive us, and we ain't got no times to be sitting down debating no Edomite, man. And you know you getting paid for this shit, you know, which is why you're doing it. You know, so this is pointless work, man. This is not what the Lord commanded us to do. You know, you're doing this for your own good, man. Um, yes, because Sirach 1 and 30, exalt not thyself lest thou fall and bring dishonor upon thy soul. And so the Most High discovered thy secrets and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation, because thou camest not in truth to the fear of the Lord, but thy heart is full of deceit. You see, you're exalting your own self, man. So eventually, the Lord's gonna let you climb your name up. Like I said, just get a million views. You know, they are a well known, organization, so to speak. So the Lord gonna allow you to gain that glory. So your fall will be that much bigger in the sight of the congregation, man. You know? Because the scriptures say the greater thou art, the more humble you should be. These dudes are proud, man. You know, that's why you see they always slandering Great Millstone. You know, they don't come in truth. You don't see that Yahweh Shai is dwelling within them, man. You know? These people want to be a part of the world. They want to be a part of the world. They don't want to be against the world. Some of the things that he was asked, and what was one thing that stood out when I was watching this? He said he don't support the death of any human being, and we're not advocating or saying someone should die or whatever the case may be, but the scriptures say the Lord killeth and maketh alive. You know, and also, why in the hell would you give a damn about the death of an Edomite, man? The scriptures say, "Does any man perish being innocent?" You know, and then they didn't give a damn about us. They didn't give a damn about our children. You know, when we were dying, You know, well, when you see the people walking down the street saying Black Lives Matter, they come back and say all lives matter. You know, showing that they don't give a damn about Black lives, man. You know, that all lives matter. That's bullshit, man. That's all complete bullshit. You know, because everybody that died, where people have to march and saying their lives actually do matter, there was celebration from the Edomite community, with some of the deaths that happened in the so-called black community, and then the cops or the white people that killed the so-called black people became millionaires through donations from their people. So how in the hell can you then say all lives matter? It shows that our lives don't matter, man. To them, you know, if that makes sense. 20, it says, I am crucified with Hamashiach, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Hamashiach liveth in me, and the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of the Most High, who loved me and gave himself for me. And that's how we supposed to live, man. And you're supposed to see Yahushua and and the men that call themselves men of the Lord. You're supposed to see Yahushua, that spirit, man. You know, you're supposed to be separated from this world because this world crucified our Lord. So then you will see that his men will be crucified too. He told us that in St. John 15. That was red letter, man. If this world hate you, know that it hated me before it hated you. You know? The reason why he's getting on all these podcasts, is getting paid, his name is growing on the YouTube world, is because he's a part of this world, man. As it says in Romans 12. Be not conformed. Let me just get it, and I'm gonna finish there. Romans 12, and it says in 2, it says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. And that's why they don't realize it, man. All the years that he been in this truth, he still don't realize the what's acceptable, what's the acceptable will of the Most High. That's why he's doing all this pointless shit, man. You know, all right, you can spar, you brushing up your knowledge of the scriptures, but this ain't the platform to do it, man. You know, you want to be a part of this world, and the point is that shit is pointless, man. You know, we at the end of this thing, and it's about you know, the Akim really, because the election may possibly be sealed for real, you know. So we at the time of just gathering up that oil, so that we have the wisdom and knowledge to keep us stable in the time of trouble that's approaching. All this other bullshit that they doing is bullshit, man. It's complete bullshit. So if you following them dudes, you gotta get your head out your ass and understand what the Lord is commanding us to do in these last days. But that's it, man. I was just watching that. I just want to put my 2 cents on what I was thinking when I was watching it. With that, until the next one, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, or Wadash. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders of the great millstone who grew well and taught us this truth, and shalom to the elect.